to weld up the rear spare tire well area, I'm gonna have to drop the gas tank because it's really close to the spare tire well, and I don't want to be welding, you know, with fuel in the tank and the gas tank in place and either damage it or, you know, blow myself up. So I'm gonna disconnect the battery and then we'll drop the fuel tank and then we can start cutting and welding. All right, so we're gonna drain the fuel. I don't know how much is in here. It's less than a half a tank, but I'm not sure if this jug will be enough, but that's the only empty one I have right now. So we'll see how it goes. And I got a spare pan in case, and then we can transfer it to something else. We're gonna have to disconnect the fuel lines, which are under this cover. There wasn't actually any screws in it. I just need to disconnect the wires and disconnect this piece to get in there. So we'll remove the fuel lines and then we'll go underneath. I think there's some lines actually under the spare tire well that I saw, so we'll probably open that up and take those out also. So first thing is unplug it, and then we can get in here and unplug this. Kind of hard to see, but I'm just gonna pull the connector off in here so we can get this cover off. Get that. So you can start to see it a little bit, and there's actually like an 8mm ground clamp here, which I'm gonna need a socket for. So disconnect the ground wire off the top of the tank. Now it's a bit hard to see, but it's a little bit tight in here until I get the cover off. So there's the ground wire there, and then you have the clamp here. I actually had a zip tie on it because some of the clips are broken on this, so I'll have to repair that as we do this as well to make sure that stays on. I'll probably rewire this directly from the battery with some relays just to make sure that, you know, we have good power to the fuel pump, because it's a fairly common problem on these. So we want to make sure we got good clean power, so we'll do that separately later. So now that we're in here, there's these two hoses that are screwed to the top of the tank. So we'll undo these and get them out of the way. So there's one. Take the other one out here. I can unhook this one as well. So that one's disconnected. I don't know if these, it looks like these connect to the tank maybe. We'll have to sort of figure that out as we get it down, because I'm not sure if these will just clear or if we got to disconnect them somewhere. Now we can slide the clamps off the hoses. So with these, I started up the car, pulled the fuel pump relay till it died to get all the pressure out of the line. So when I pull these off, I don't get a bunch of fuel coming out. But I also got safety glasses on just in case, because you never know how well it drained. So that's good on that one. Nothing there. I think that one's probably the vent line. And then this is the fuel supply line here. So still fuel came out even after I ran the thing till it stopped, so there was some residual fuel pressure in there. So you just want to be careful of that. So I'm gonna I'm not sure if I have to take any of this off or not. We'll remove this shield so we just have better access to the tank, and then there's two straps underneath. So we'll go underneath, drop it down as far as we can, and then we might have to come back and if there's some of these hoses here, I'm not sure where these vent lines go. We'll probably have to disconnect those from the tank once we get it down, because I don't have good access with it in place. So the one thing we'll need to do first before we can drop the tank is we're gonna have to remove the fuel filler neck. Not quite sure the best way to do that. There's a clamp and some connections on the tank. There's a clamp sort of up towards this end, and it's also screwed in up here. So we'll pull the wheel and then we'll figure out the best way to get that out, because we gotta get that out of the way before we can pull the tank out. Let's see if I can get. All right, so I think the best approach is we're gonna take this clamp off here, and then I'll disconnect the top and see if we can pull it out without having to do both ends of the hose. So there's just a standard wire hose clamp at this end down here. So we'll just loosen that up. Good thing is it's not too rusty, so it's coming out pretty good. All right, so as you can see, I got this clamp off the hose here. The hose feels pretty hard, so I'm not sure if it's going to come off over the lip on the flange here or not, but we'll undo the top up here next. We'll undo this ground strap, get that out of the way. And then we can try to drop the top of the filler neck and see if the bottom will come off. Sometimes putting some WD-40 or something around the rubber will make it slip and we can get it moving and get it off of there. But let's see how it goes. All right, so we got two 8mm bolts on either side of this. So to get to those, we'll pull the cap off. And you can probably see there's one there and there's one there. So hoping we pull these out and the neck hopefully will drop down. And then we can get the filler neck off the tank. All right, we got one out. Let's do the other one. So. All right, now we got both of those screws out. So that's loose and moves. So we'll get underneath, see if we can get it off the tank and then pull it out of there. All right, I'm gonna hit it with a little WD-40 just to hopefully can work it down in there. Once we free it up some, and we'll see if it will come off of here or not. Getting in here might be a trick. Let's see. Oh, look at that, it's moving. That's a good sign. So these pliers are pretty good for getting hoses and things off. So I've used them in the past and they work good. So it looks like that's coming off of there. So we'll just give it a little bit of a pull. Nice, and it's off. So that's a good sign. And it looks like that's coming out. So we got a hose, vent hose attached here. So we can pull that off. A pair of pliers. And usually these, if you give them a twist, and you can break it free, which that's not cooperating. But we got a different pair of pliers and pull that off of there. But like I said, I don't know if you can, it's probably hard to see if you can see that, but there's that vent line on there. So we get a little bit of a twist. Now it's moving on there. Then they usually come right off like that. So there's the vent line, there's the filler neck. So it's out. It's a nice flapper valve here on the tank. So I guess that prevents fuel from coming back up into the neck. But we got the filler neck out. All right, so to get the fuel tank out, there's a 14mm bolt here. There's one here, and that holds these straps on. And then there's another one at the front here and the front there. I'm going to undo the back ones first, at least break them loose and see what happens if it'll tilt down or if I need to take all four of them out, but this will be easier. So let's crack them loose and see what happens. Yeah, I think I'll just need to undo the back ones. So now that we got it loose, I'm going to try to lower it down on this stool right here. It's a little bit probably hard to see, but all right. All right, so we got it down on the stool. Let's have a look up here and see what we got. So as you can see, we got some vent lines here that we'll have to disconnect. Just probably really this one, and then that's it, and it'll come right out. All right, so after undoing the filler neck, which attached here, and this vent line off the filler neck just to get the filler neck out of the way so it was easier, I probably could have actually just undone the two screws at the top and dropped the tank, but I wasn't 100% sure on that, so it was just easier to get it out of the way. And then I had the one vent line here that connects to this canister. I removed that from the chassis of the car. The two straps here are undone, so I should be able just to slide the tank right out now. So now the fuel tank's out. You can see it here, hopefully. Got the tank sitting there. And then underneath the car here,